Meghan Markle turns deaf ear to latest stern warning. The Duchess of Sussex faces prospect of an epic group takedown from former friends. Meghan Markle appears to be shunning warnings about her ex-best friend Jessica Mulroney's possible tell-all memoir. The Duchess of Sussex has been warned of facing the prospect of an epic group takedown from former friends who may potentially prepare a joint documentary project for Netflix or a rival streaming platform. Prince Harry's wife has so far turned a deaf ear to the reports, enjoying happy family moments with their 2 children in Montecito. Canadian stylist Mulroney, television personality Stassi Schroeder, and Made in Chelsea star Millie McIntosh, who once championed Meghan, are now said to be either estranged or openly critical. According to sources, as reported by Radar Online, some of them are now in talks to collaborate on a film that would shine a harsh light on their former friend. There is a growing appetite among those who feel cast aside to tell their side of the story. A group project would be powerful and very damaging for Meghan. The mood is that enough is enough, one insider claimed. There were also reports that Mulroney was considering to write a book on the former Hollywood star. Meghan's former pal has released a statement after a source claimed to the Daily Mail, "Jessica knows where the bodies are buried. Meghan will be worried." When asked whether she might write a tell-all memoir, Jessica responded, "Absolutely not." However, despite her public silence, there may still be lingering resentment toward the Duchess of Sussex. She was once described as Meghan's keeper of secrets. Meghan Markle under fire after admitting Prince Archie asked her a question. Royal fans have been left confused after the Duchess of Sussex candidly joked that her son, who is 6 years old, doesn't know when his own birthday is. Meghan Markle has left royal fans baffled after candidly revealing that Prince Archie doesn't know when his own birthday is. The Duchess of Sussex made the unusual revelation during an appearance on the new documentary titled The Happiest Story on Earth, 70 Years of Disneyland, in which the Sussexes discussed their recent trip to the theme park for Lilibet's 4th birthday celebrations. Prince Harry and Meghan recalled their fantastic time at the park, with Archie and Lily getting to meet Princess Elsa from Frozen and going on rides together. Young Lilibet also received a Little Mermaid-themed cake with her name written in pink icing. Speaking in the program, Meghan explained that they'd had such a brilliant time that her son Archie asked her, "When's my birthday?" after their whirlwind trip. The Duchess said, "For us to be able to have our own childhood memories and then watch that play out through our daughter's birthday," and Archie said, "When's my birthday?" Her comments have since led to confusion online, as many were surprised by the revelation that Archie, who is 6 years old, still does not know his own birthday date. Many then pointed out that the youngster, who lives with his parents in Montecito in California, had celebrated his own birthday just the month prior. One royal fan wrote on social media, "A 6-year-old who doesn't know his own birthday, our 3-year-old knows hers." Another asked, "Is it normal for a 6-year-old to not know when his birthday is? Especially if it was the previous month." Others said, "A 6-year-old should know when their birthday is. They should know that earlier than 6, along with their address, last name, parents' name, etc." However, others were quick to jump to Meghan and Archie's defense, pointing out that Archie may have merely been asking how long it was until his next birthday after having such a joyful time at Lily's party. "I think he was asking how far away his birthday was, not the date," commented one ex-user. Elsewhere during the documentary, Prince Harry spoke fondly of their time at Disneyland, saying, "To see the kids throw themselves into these experiences when they have no idea what they're walking into, it was amazing. It brings out the kid in you again." Prince Harry and Meghan Markle don't see eye to eye on their future. They want different things. The meeting was months in the making. Finally, around 5:20 p.m. on September 10th, amid Prince Harry's solo trip to the UK for a series of charity events, his blacked-out Range Rover pulled through the gates of Clarence House, the official London residence of his father, King Charles III. 55 minutes later, the Duke of Sussex departed following their first face-to-face meeting in more than 18 months, raising hopes for a lasting reconciliation between the cancer-stricken monarch, 76, and his estranged younger son. Hours later, Harry made a surprise visit to war-torn Ukraine, where he spent time supporting soldiers wounded in the country's war with Russia. His work with veterans through his Invictus Foundation's sports rehabilitation and recovery initiatives gives him purpose, Harry told The Guardian in a new interview, acknowledging that the end of his decade-long military career in 2015 left him struggling to find his way. Invictus, Harry said, saved me. One thing the prince may not be able to save, his marriage. The meeting with his father and trip to Ukraine were wins for Harry, but as his transatlantic life becomes more involved, he may face trouble at home. In the past few months, it's become clear that Harry is being pulled back toward the country and the life he left behind in 2020 when he and wife of 7 years, Meghan, 44, alleged they were bullied by the UK press and abandoned the royal family to start over in their $14.6 million home in Montecito, California, where they live with son Archie, 6, and 4-year-old daughter Lilibet. What that means for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's relationship, at least right now, is unclear. Harry's been talking about spending more time in the UK, possibly having a second home base there, a source tells Star, adding that he's considered returning for good. Meghan, reports the source, has had to face a dawning reality that's left her shocked that her husband would even consider moving back to Britain after everything they've been through and how much work they've done to rebuild their lives in America. It seems, says the source, they want different things. That doesn't bode well for their marriage. The 41-year-old prince can be quite stubborn. Meghan isn't one to back down either, says the source. If this disagreement can't be resolved, people around them fear it could lead to some explosive fights and maybe even divorce. The dynamics of the once united team who did nearly everything together have changed, especially over the last year as they've moved forward on what's been described as twin tracks. Harry's been focused on his philanthropic initiatives, frequently traveling outside the States to highlight his work. Meanwhile, the former Suits actress has returned to Hollywood, launching a cooking and entertaining show with Love, Meghan, and a new lifestyle brand, as ever, with Netflix as a partner this year. It's become a push-pull situation, explains royal biographer Tom Bower. Following Harry's UK trip, the author of Revenge, Meghan, Harry and the War Between the Windsors told GB News, it's clear Harry and Meghan want different things, though both depend on their royal connections. When he comes to Britain, he becomes a focus of attention, Bower said of Harry's quasi-royal tours. But of course, he is spared to Meghan, or was, in her attempt to become the great television homemaker back home. Very cleverly, Harry has separated himself from Meghan, as she did from him, but she still needs him, explained Bower. After all, there would be no With Love, Meghan if viewers weren't curious to catch a glimpse into her royal-adjacent life. And so, says Bower, you've got this couple in Montecito, desperately looking for a new purpose in life. Still, making amends with the royal family is a work in progress for Harry. Meeting with Charles galvanized him, says the source, especially after the rogue royal won praise in the very press that he and Meghan allege hounded them out of Britain. To hear even his worst critics say he made a gesture of goodwill toward his father has been encouraging, says the source. It gives him hope that perhaps he will be welcomed back into the royal fold. Harry, who remains estranged from older brother William, 43, hardly hid his hopes for the future in the September 14th Guardian interview, saying he enjoyed the week he spent in Britain. I have always loved the UK, and I always will love the UK, he insisted. It's been good to reconnect with the causes I am passionate about. I have been able to spend some time with people that I have known for so long. It is hard to do it from far away. Another unexpected boon came as UK reports, including in the traditionally anti-Sussex Daily Mail, described Harry's outings, which drew swarms of supporters to William's thinner schedule, as if what his brother was doing seemed inadequate, notes the source. For once, Harry came out smelling like the rose. So much has changed in just a few months. In May, after losing his years-long legal appeal against a 2020 government decision stripping him, Meghan, and their kids of automatic police protection when they visit Britain, Harry lamented in a headline-making sit-down with BBC News that Archie and Lily might never be able to safely return to the country where they are 6th and 7th in line to the throne. I can't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point, he said, explaining that fears of violence he's received credible threats from Al-Qaeda and neo-Nazi groups are too great a gamble. I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland. But in September, asked if he wants to spend more time there and bring his children, he told The Guardian, "Yes, I would," admitting, "This week has definitely brought that closer." In the year ahead, Harry said, "The focus really has to be on my dad." This, says the source, is what Meghan feared would happen. The California native hasn't been back to Britain since Queen Elizabeth II's 2022 funeral and has no desire to return, says the source. She fawned over Harry in recent social media posts. Upon his return, she shared a photo of 2 wine glasses being filled with her as Ever Rose captioned, "When your beau is back in town," followed by a sexy pic of her husband in uniform with the message, "Oh hi, birthday boy," alongside a fire emoji for his September 15th birthday. But the source says she's upset and doesn't want Harry taking their kids to England, where they aren't safe. In the US, says the source, they have a sheltered life, good schools, friends, protection. Meghan has already put her foot down to going back to a family that treated her so abominably. Clearly they are at an historic crossroads. One of the first American-born royals continues to fight moving back to her husband's homeland. No one is denying Harry and Meghan love each other, but they don't see eye to eye, says the source. She's all for Harry making up with his family, so long as they keep their life in California and raise their children here. But she wants the royals to stay away from her and her children.